Hopefully I won't do this again, but it is kind of like sort of a interesting topic about YouTuber going into the YouTube business. So another thing he said about that this work. This is what YouTube tells us what to do. So for people that don't know who's starting on YouTube, yes, YouTube blog actually has some sort of quote unquote tips of how to make people engage to your video. Like he said, whether you like or not, enticing title, sort of suspense title, something interesting, something like a wow factor to make a viewer put their time to watching your video. That's YouTube's thing. And then, of course, exaggerate the thumbnail, especially put your ugly mug on the picture. That's why you see Dreamcast Guy, you see Spawnwave, RGT85, heck, SwitchForce, to some extent Nintendo Prime, you name it. Heck, you even notice that AVGN's thumbnail, they even changed it because YouTube said that if you put your ugly mug on the thumbnail with a out of far side of expression, you cannot see, people will be, well, the word is mesmerized on the thumbnail. I was like, oh wow, this guy has an ugly face. I wonder why. I'm going to click it. And a lot of YouTube experts basically said, yes, whether you like it or not, shitty may be, it works. I mean, I don't do it. I mean, granted, I use my me from Mitomo to some extent, but again, not everyone's a fan of me's. But yeah, I guess sort of for me, but I'm not going to put my ugly face to some extent because I think just kind of like a lame, cheap tactic. But if it works, it works. Who knows? Who cares to some extent? So, yeah, if it bothers you, it is unfortunate. But again, like a lot of these people say, they gotta do in order to get views on their channel. So they have to follow those rules. It's not even a recommendation tip. It's you have to do it if you want to be noticeable on YouTube. Because another thing is, chances are, maybe SwitchForce also, but I know a lot of these people I mentioned are in an MCN. The Spawncast crew are part of Screenwave Media, the same one as AVGN. And the thing is, I don't know if it's true or not, because I know some people who are part of Screenwave Media don't really use this tactic. However, Screenwave Media did say that they do give tips that, yeah, do this, do that. Make an enticing suspense title. Make it surprisingly. Make people intrigued. On your thumbnail, put your ugly mug with your ugly expression because people will get mesmerized and they might click on the video. They're not kind of recommending and giving you a tip. To some extent, they're telling you to do it, whether or not you like it. Because, again, if you look at the AVGN's thumbnail, they changed. That's why a lot of people didn't like it. But, again, they believe that works. And why is that? Because here's the thing. If you're working on an MCN to some extent, this is what I heard, is that if you're not getting the views that the network wants for their standard, push come to shove, you're going to get fired. I heard story that there have been YouTubers who got fired from their MCN because they're not getting the views. People are tired of their channel or whatever reason. And then push come to shove said, hey, you're not getting the views from our standard. Unfortunately, we're going to have to give you the boot. Again, I don't know the story. I don't work with an MCN. I just hear a story from other people. Again, sort of a job. What happens in the job when you do a poor performance? Exactly. Same deal. You get replaced because, again, they're paying you to help them benefit, make money. And if the beneficial doesn't go both ways, what happens? Same goes with YouTube. So, to some extent, that they're helping you promote your video, but nobody's watching it, even they're promoting it. What's the point? And what happens? So, yeah, kind of like SwitchForce said to some extent, he got to do what he got to do. A lot of this other YouTuber probably doing the same thing. And like I said, if you're not a fan of their videos, you don't like their thumbnail, title, whatever, give your critical opinion and move on. That's really it. You don't need to harass people. You don't have to bug them because, again, it just makes you look bad. That's really it. And a lot of these people that say that you're a hater, the fans might attack you. And then what? You're going to get agitated because, it has something to do with them. Well, it has something to do with them because to some extent, you're harassing the people they like or the person they follow, they respect. And if that person push to say, I don't want to do YouTube because I'm getting harassed, yeah, it affects the other viewer who are a fan. Think about that. And always also, if you dislike someone on YouTube or on the internet for whatever reason, legit or not, it's the internet. Like I said, it's not serious business. Is ignore the person, don't acknowledge the person, and just don't interact and don't harass them. That's it. Give your critical opinion about someone and then move on. Like, that's really it. Stop bugging the person. Stop harassing them to some extent. I mean, kind of like what Review Tech USA. Stop basically going too far just to make a point. Just give your critical opinion and move on. That's all it is to it. Don't acknowledge them, because the more people talk about someone, whether it's positive or negative, other people are going to be interested and like, okay, I'm going to see that person is. And then they're going to judge from themselves whether that person is good or bad. Just saying there. That makes sense. And that the side effects of it. So it is fun, but you just have to understand, hey, you're going to have haters, you're going to have trolls. You got to just ignore them. That's what it is. And like I said, to SwitchForce, nothing personal. But the thing is really, like I said, for me, is like, I just kind of feel like when you talk about Nintendo, you kind of sound like Nintendo superior than any other console. It's sort of, you're not talking objectively, mostly subjectively. Like, Nintendo's the best to some extent because I'm a super fan or a Nintendo loyalist. That's okay, that's fine. But mindfulness is that anything that's good, there's also the bad thing. Like, I'm a Sony preferred person. I like Sony, even so they got some bullshit policy that I think it's dumb. I mean, the 2D anti-policy rule, yeah, I kind of agree with it with the price, but again, you're dictating the English dub mandatory. I agree, but you're not giving the developer option, and of course, the censor policy, which is really stupid, but whatever. I already talked about that. So a lot of this talk, I'm going to try to put some source on the description box. So yeah, that's my thoughts about SwitchForce. So the next one is the super fans and why some of the gaming community kind of get rubbed the wrong way there. So with that, I'll see you guys later.